MT9 LT1 seminar on exponential functions. As usual, do the first 5 questions to awaken your knowledge, and we'll go over those in class. We're going to look at what an exponential function is and what it means. First, let's take a look. Whoops, I want to make my video bigger. When we look at the population of the United States, it's growing by that about 0.7% each year. That is, each year we're going to add 7%, not or times by 1.07. That is, it doesn't grow by the same amount each year, but it increases by the same percent each year. So we're getting bigger and bigger and bigger. That's called an exponential function. An exponential function, the key of an exponential function is the independent variable, my x, is my exponent. Hint the word exponential. When you have this, it looks like the form y equals a number times another number raised to the x power. Now, my first number a, that can't be 0 because if it was 0, you wouldn't have an exponent. And then b has to be bigger than 1, or 0, I'm sorry, but it can't be 1 because anything 1 to any power we know is going to be 1. So for example, 2 times 3 to the x power, that's an exponential function. 4 to the x power, so a could be 1, b just can't be 1. And y equals 1/2 to the x power. You can have a number less than 1, you can have a fraction, but notice you have an exponent here. Now, the difference between linear and exponential is how we decide the rate of change or the slope of a line. We know in a linear, if I have 2 points next to each other and I subtract those, I'm always going to get a constant, which we call the slope. If I take y3 minus y2, that'll be the same as y2 minus y1. Now, in exponential, we don't subtract, we divide. So y2 divided by y1 is going to equal to a constant. We'll call that b for our equation. That is y3 divided by y2 is going to be a constant, which we'll call b. I could go on forever and ever doing it that way. That's just a constant. So if I take a look here in example 1, is this exponential? That is, do I divide and get the same answer? So if I take my second number, 6, and I divide it by my first number, 0.6, 6 divided by 0.6 is 10. Let's take my third number, 60. And if I divide it by my second number, 6, I get 10. Let's take 600. And we'll divide that by the one before it, 60. And I get 10. That makes it exponential. That's an exponential function. My b is 10. That is, I multiply by 10 each time. Now notice they must be next to each other. If they're not next to each other, then we'll have to do some other calculations.